Hello, great people. I'm back for another episode of the Black Eye 73. And now we have a winner survivor. Dean Kashawashi. I know. His name Dean. He the winner survivor. But the story is not about who won survivor. This story about Kellee Kim pissed off at the producers of Survivor. She mad because she told them Dan was a creepy man. Dan loved touchy feeling. She feel like she was ostracized for telling them. But Dan eventually got kicked off. I think it was last week or the week before last, before the season finale. Cause one of the staff with a survivor said Dan did the same thing to him or her to her. I ain't put Dan as a gay to her. Dan touchy feeling. So here's a back and forth with Kim Lee and the producer of Survivor.
You want to get off your chest that you're upset about with me or production or anything that you want me to hear?
I think one of the things that has been and was the hardest thing was the fact that Dan remained in the game even after I spoke up. And the reason why is not necessarily the injustice. It's because I felt like I spoke up and I was not being supported or believed. And when someone goes through something like this or anything remotely like it, to not be supported and not be believed is really the hardest thing. It's one of the hardest things. You know, I think the most important thing when I think about this situation and what happened is that I hope that this season of Survivor isn't just defined by inappropriate touching or sexual harassment. I hope that it's defined by change, you know? And I feel like I can be really proud of the fact that I spoke up and I asked for these changes, and CBS.
She not lying. She Apple don't change. She went to CBS and she told us, hey, Dan be touching on me too much, man. And she had the other girls, had the other women to go along with it. But at the end of that episode, the women turned against her and got rid of her. Here goes some more of that talking point.
And Survivor are making those changes because I asked. You know, and I have to fundamentally believe at the end of the day that individuals and institutions are capable of change. And I think that as a result of the season, many of us have had these hard conversations. We've learned a lot, and I think we're still learning. And I'll tell you, my biggest hope is that each one of us, each individual, each institution, each organization, and especially CBS and Survivor, can take this, learn from it, and do better. You know, I fundamentally believe that we can do better.
Hey, she not lying. I'll be honest with you. She not lying at all. I was looking at the episode, you know, I started looking at Survivor. I put Thursday night football to the side and started looking at Survivor. I'll be honest with you. And she not lying. She told them, say, hey, Dan be touching me, man. You know. And she went to the other ladies and said, hey, ladies, how y'all feel about Dan? Don't you think it gets too cozy and, you know, touchy feeling and all that stuff? And the ladies, they're like, yeah, you know what we need to do? We need to vote Dan out of here. They had Kelly Food. It didn't make it so bad. Kellee Kim, she had her doing hello there. Hey, how you doing? Thank you for watching. Miss last name. But yeah, Kellee Kim, she did. She told them, and the ladies agreed with her, said, yeah, Dan, you touch it. He touched me too much. He be hugging. He be coming behind me. But when it came to the eliminate, like I said, she had to do an idol. You know, she could have survived played it, but the other ladies told her, said, no, no, we're gonna vote Dan off. We not gonna vote you off. So she didn't even play her darn thing. And so she didn't even vote her. She didn't even play her thing. At the end of the episode, Kellee Kim got voted off, and Dan survived. She was pissed. So here goes some of this article from TMZ. It says survival would never be the same, or now that season 39 is over. At least Kellee Kim hoped her legacy would be in the wake of Dan controversy. It already made one huge change for the first time. The show final reunion Thursday night was not live and pre-tape program featuring Jeff going one-on-one with Kelly, who aired her grievance with Jeff, producer of CBS. She told the host the most difficult part of season for her was the fact Dan remained on the show for several weeks after she spoke out about his unwanted touchings. She said she felt producer either didn't believe her or worse, just ignored her. As you know, Dan was eventually removed after the crew member also complained about him. Dan wasn't included in the final taping. Kelly said she didn't want season 39 to be defined by Dan action, but instead she hoped his legacy would be that her speaking led to producers making lasting changes. The show already announced there would be a new guideline for personal space, and it would have more professional on site to allow for confidential reporting of any problems. It completely overshadowed was the fact Survivor did crown a new champion Wednesday night. It was Dean Casawasi. I think that's his last name. Bottom line is, sometimes TV, or most of the time, TV put the female last over money. That's what I took from it. Cause she did complain. She did tell them like, "Hey, this dude too touchy feeling." But the survivor said they ain't say anything. I think a week later they came back and said, "Hey, we had a talk with Dan, and Dan not gonna touch y'all anymore." They didn't stop Dan. Dan still touch a feeling. But some of the ladies every time I didn't feel comfortable how he would land beside us in a makeshift bed they had for Survivor. So they didn't feel comfortable because it seemed like he was trying to get, I sure will support you. I appreciate it. I'll support you. But yeah, some of the ladies said they didn't like the touchy feeling that Dan was doing. That he was getting too close, he was cuddling with them like he was in a relationship with them. But it took one of the staff from Survivor to finally have Dan kicked off for his action. I'm not knocking Dan. I'm not persecuting Dan because I ain't seen none of that stuff. Well, I did see some of the touchy feeling from the women he was doing to the women, but it wasn't like the women were pushing them off for trying to fight him. Some of the women was like, well, come on, Dan, let's go to bed, So, and me, I had to change. I really did have to change. When I was younger, I was a good old Southern boy, you know, the country dude. And I used to, I didn't think I was flirting or anything, but I always was saying, I always call ladies beautiful or sexy or saying, telling them, complimenting on their looks. So, and then I found out, some people take that as harassment. Some people take compliments, what you consider a compliment. Some people take it as harassment or sexual, what word? Uh, Oh shit, I can't think of that. It's sexual something. I forgot. Sexual harassment. That's what it is. Some people take that as sexual harassment. You could compliment them to my, oh, you're looking beautiful. But some people don't want you to tell them because they think that you only see their image instead of their accomplishment. Can I compliment you on your beauty and tell you how intelligent you are at the same time? But so I stopped doing that. You know, only my woman, my sweetie, she the only one I compliment, telling her how beautiful she is and telling her how amazing, how intelligent she is. Cause I don't need no backlash in my life saying I sexually harassed them because I gave them a compliment. So it taught me an important lesson. Just remember, everyone don't want compliments. I don't understand, but there's a lot of women who actually don't want compliments. They don't want you to tell them they're pretty. Or tell them like, I, you look nice. Compliment their figure. They talking about some people call it eye rape. I don't know. So for now on, I stopped. I stopped getting ladies compliment because I don't want them to feel like I'm sexually harassing them. I stopped anything. I just speak to them. I just speak to women now, like, hey, how you doing? And keep it moving, because you know you ain't really tarnish my name. Talking about I'm making you feel uncomfortable. I just like at work. Or do the same. I just speak to them, and sometimes I don't even speak to some of them ladies because like, I'm gonna leave my job. I'm gonna leave on my own. I ain't gonna leave because I spoke to you and said, hey, mess around and said it's a pretty day outside. You gonna mess around and say, oh, he called me pretty. I don't like, yeah, nah, I ain't gonna do that. But on Survivor, Dan was a little creepy. He was done a little too much touchy. But sometimes you had to learn the hard way. Yeah, I never did that touchy. Only time I touched a female when I've been invited to, you know, she gave me permission to touch her. But other than that, nah, I ain't do it. Mm-mm. I don't work too hard to stay out of trouble. I ain't trying to get back in. I ain't trying to get in no trouble, especially that kind of trouble, man. Shit. Cause the city I live in is not small, but the city is like about 250,000. But it's small compared to some of the major cities in the United States. So in a city like that, and then the Negro community, especially with social media, word pass fast. If somebody done did something wrong, every word pass fast and like, hey, they said the black ice is a creep, man. So stay away from him. So I ain't trying to get that reputation. Yeah, but some men, like I said, some men don't see that as sexual harassment or uh, being in somebody's personal space. See it as like, oh, I like for her to know how I feel about her. Mm-mm. I mean, you could be the beautiful woman in the doing building walking by. I'll look up at you. I'm like, damn, look right there. That's what I do. I ain't gonna lie to you. I look up at you like, huh. In my mind, like, oh, she beautiful. But I ain't gonna tell her. You ain't gonna get me for sexual harassment or anything like that. I'm about to end the video. Thank you for watching. I'll talk to you later.